Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. Today is the last full day of trading in the June contracts for equities. Some institutions will start small volume tomorrow in September contracts, and platforms will really start pushing traders to choose September starting Friday, right? So when the session closes, after Thursday, when Friday session opens at 6 p.m. Thursday night, toss will be on the September contract. So just throwing it out there. Today is the last really full day of trading, where most of the volume will be in June, and then it's going to start waning towards September, which it'll be the majority of the volume by Friday afternoon. So looking at really where we are, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 daily bars that are up around these highs. The green candles, we closed there, but we didn't start there. So we've got 4 candles basically that started here and faded lower. Today will be the 5th day that we've started around these highs. So can we drift a little higher? It doesn't look like there's going to be an explosion to the upside, but we'll see. Obviously one could happen if we, launched, but that doesn't really seem to be in the cards. It seems like traders are really getting complacent up here, right? So this is more like a bull trap setup than it is a breakout. For the bull trap, you're probably looking at going back down towards the 41.55 range minimum to shake out all this action from 41.90 and above. And then we'll see if we can hit 41.10. On the other hand, right, we could just start drifting up slowly, 15 to 20 points a day for a couple days. We'll see which way it shakes up, but keep in mind that we've been awful close to this all-time high that was set on May 7th and really haven't got anything going up here. We've been within 5 to 10 points of that all-time high and really can't get anything going. This is the daily bell to bell RTH only 42.35 set yesterday, all-time intraday high. But the 38 quarter, which is only 3.25 points up from that, we couldn't even manage to get to yesterday. So looking at all the indexes, keep in mind with the Russell, the majority of the move in the Russell is due to the meme stocks. So if you take the meme stocks out, right, those exaggerated moves, the Russell really hasn't done anything. So the Russell can keep going, right, if it has meme fuel, I guess is what I'm trying to say, since we were talking about rocket fuel a minute ago. But keep in mind, if those memes start to fade, right, the Russell's going to fade the quickest. It's definitely has your biggest beta. So above 23.41.60, I really don't have any support or resistance above there. We've got the bell-to-bell high up there at, I believe it is 58. Let's go back on the chart and look. I'm sorry, 66 for the contract, right, with extended on, and with extended off, you're looking at 58.40 is the highest between the bells. Looking at the ES, we kind of beat that up a little bit. So if we don't really can't hold above 42.30, right, we're probably gonna start taking out 42.23 and then 15, and then migrate down, and maybe this week we can test around 65 to 75 again, or very close to that, at least 90 to 95. To the upside, I think you could get to 45 to 55 is what all I'd be looking for. For the Nasdaq, it's got a little bit more work to do, but not a whole lot either. They're all very close to their all-time highs. You got 13,945 would be the next level above that I'll be watching, and you got 14,000 plus or minus 12 is the last really stand before you get to the all-time high, which is 14,064, I believe. So looking at the Dow has really technically held up the best. It was the weakest yesterday. It had a nice bounce off of getting very close to this 34,423, and we'll see what happens with it if it leads up or down. Obviously, breaching that level, right, that should end up being resistance for some time if it gets under it. Otherwise, we're probably just still going to traipse around basically from where this high volume node is. That's going to be right around 34,523, which is right around that overnight low, up to yesterday's highs, 641. And then nothing really changes in that zone, right? That's just a chop zone. And then above that, you could first hit 34,690 would be what I'm looking for. In the overnight action, a whopping 12 3/4 points, and you can see we're still below yesterday's bell high, which is right at the open, that 42.35, and then we faded lower. Looking at all the indexes, at yesterday's high for the Russell, above value area high, but hasn't made it much past that yet for the NASDAQ. Above value area high, below the bell high for yesterday, and the Dow is just still stuck in value, right? If we look at the overnight lows, below value for the Dow, but right at value area low for the ES, right in value for the NASDAQ, and basically just a little bit below these single prints. The only anomaly yesterday was for the Russell, right? It's got single prints that are basically between 2339.60 to 2340. So that's going to be your line above and below a little bit. So watch that overnight low. Any traction below that, you're probably just going to get a fill down towards at least 23.25. I would say if you want to be conservative, maybe add a point up to that to 23.2660 is what I'd be looking for at minimum if you lose that distribution there. And then resistance above for the Dow, if it can muster anything, any enthusiasm to the upside, is going to be 34,688 to 34,721. And then really, that's really all you can look at right now. I'm going to be watching the overnight value areas. I will let you know, if you look at the VIX, right, there's a pattern of when you get to these highs, right, and they consolidate in a very tight range, right? When you end up on the lows of the VIX, what you end up with is a reason to sell, right? Because people are buying protection. So you can see that, we keep getting down towards these lows and we're responding up. So the VIX isn't down to its lows. And I watch the VIX. So next time it gets around 15.5 to 15.8, that's really when you should take notice that, you might be near a short-term top. Otherwise, just watch this 1664. If you're above that, I'd rather be a little bit more bullish, and below that, a little bit more bearish. I hope this helps you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.